Welcome to the Life on Your Terms podcast with me, your host, Tracey Liv Howard. My intention is that each episode helps you remember who you are and serves to inspire and support you to reach your most important goals and live life on your terms. Let's get into today's episode. There's something that I've noticed about people who are living life on their terms, and it's that they have inner authority. In Anodea, Judith's book, Eastern Body, Western Mind, she says, quote, "To command our lives, we need inner authority, a presence, a part of us that sends us to bed when we're tired or stops us from eating more when we've had enough. We need a part that can take us by the hand and help us create our future. Unless we consciously form this inner part of our personality, it will be formed by the behavior of those who held authority over us." End quote. There's this shift happening in people, when they kind of wake up and assume that inner authority over themselves. And I think that first assuming authority over our inner life is critical on a basic level. Assuming authority, if I'm tired, I'm going to go to bed. Hey, stop. I'm finished scrolling social media. It's enough. Yes, we're going to the gym, get in the car, even though I don't feel like it. Or telling someone no, even though we know they're not going to like the answer. Those might seem like small acts, but those are huge acts of power. And they reverberate your ability to live life on your terms. So I want to give an extreme example around authority. Viktor Frankl wrote the book, A Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor is a survivor of the Holocaust, having spent 3 years in 4 concentration camps, including Auschwitz. Now, it might be a radical decision to talk about having inner authority over our life with an example of a Holocaust survivor, but it's important because we can tend to think that Viktor didn't have authority over his life. We can say he wasn't responsible for being held prisoner against his will. He wasn't responsible for the abuse and horrors he endured. But as Viktor said, quote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." And Viktor said, "The one thing you can't take away from me is the way I choose to respond to what you do to me. The last of one's freedoms is to choose one's own attitude in any given circumstance." End quote. Viktor realized he still had the inner authority to choose his response and to choose his attitude in any given circumstance. His inner life was still his. No one can take that from him. No one can take away his ability to choose his response and his attitude as he walked through the concentration camps. And unfortunately, many of us can get in this dynamic of power, of giving responsibility and authority over to others, that what's happening to me is because of someone else. When my boss stops micromanaging me, then I will be happier in my job. When the government lowers taxes, then I will have more money. This is what Carolyn Myss writes about in her book, Sacred Contracts. She writes about the victim, this archetype that is a survival archetype, and it's something that we all have. The victim mindset really says what's happening to me is because of what others are doing to me. A victim waits. But as Viktor Frankl says, he wasn't a victim, was he? Unfortunately, he was in terrible circumstances. But he held on to his inner authority. He held on to his own self-esteem and self-respect. And this is exactly the lesson that we're meant to learn as we develop inner authority, that we're not a victim. We have the authority over our own lives, even in the most extreme circumstances. And the lesson of this victim archetype, as Carolyn Myss says, the lesson is to help us develop self-esteem. The lesson is to stand on our own 2 feet and to take responsibility for the good and the bad in our life and make those adjustments. And so as you walk through the rest of your day, notice the part of you that you could call your inner authority. Say hi to it. Hello, inner authority. This part of you is attempting to give you guidance, and guidance for your highest good, guidance that's what's best for you. Reminding you that you do have a choice, presenting you with ideas and opportunities that are for the highest good. So listen to that inner authority today and maybe even act on it. See what comes out of you taking the responsibility for how you respond and the attitude of your life. You can choose to have the attitude that you want. So to live life on your terms, develop inner authority. A big thank you for listening to this episode. I truly hope you got what you needed. If you want to get more from me each week, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes or bonus content. To be notified of new episodes, workshop opportunities, and more, subscribe to my email list by heading to the link in this episode description. I'm wishing you joy, happiness, and love.